Right. So I know what you're thinking. Governor, that doesn't look like the Pinhoti Trail. Oh, you're right. I'm back home. Trail is finished. Thought I'd do a little recap here for you. In case you're wondering, this is Panama City Beach. That's where I live. Beautiful water. Not sure if you can hear me over the breeze and the waves, so I'm gonna go find a little quieter spot and tell you my overall thoughts on the trail, how it went. All right, so I'm here at Conservation Park. It's here near my house. Lots of walking trails here. So I figure talk about the Pinhoti Trail a little bit. Start at the beginning. Seemed like a good spot. So how I did it was I drove to the Pinhoti Outdoor Center, POC. It's the hostel. And I stayed there the night before I started. And then they will give you a shuttle ride to the start of the trail. So I did that, and then spent 2 nights out in the woods. And on the third day, we come near to where the Pinhoti Center, Outdoor Center is again. And I just called up and they'll come and pick you up. It's only like a mile away. They don't charge for that shuttle. And I stayed there another night. And that worked out pretty well because I had left my car there. They let you leave your car there if you want, and they offer a shuttle ride back from the other side, the northern part of the trail. I didn't need that, but it's kind of expensive, but they do offer it. There's also a bus station nearby if you're coming from away, and that's what some people do. You can get a shuttle from the bus station or just walk it. I think it's like 8 miles. So anyways, so I stayed there the third night. And like I said, I had my car there so I could take it into town and get some dinner. And then the next morning I got a shuttle back to where I left off. And I spent 1 night out in the woods. I'd originally planned more, but I only needed 1 night. And then the following night, I went to the Next Step hostel, and they picked me up, and they take you there because there's a little bit off trail, and I ended up taking a 0 day there, and that's a good place. A couple of the guys that were with me when I was there, they did some slack packing there because the hostel will pick you up and drop you off at a couple different spots. It's like a day's hike. So they did that. I didn't do that, but so then, oops, sorry. Went out, spent another night out of the woods. I think it was just 1 night. It was going to be more, but we got some rain coming in, and that's when we stopped at Chiaha Park. And thought about staying there, but they're kind of pricey. And so we called the Green Hippies Hostel. They came and picked us up, and spent 3 nights there. And they'd drop you off at the trail and then pick you up at the end each day, 2 days. And so that was good. That would be, if I did it again, I probably wouldn't stay there. Talking to some other people, they ended up going to Heflin and staying there. And that sounded pretty cool because you like call up the mayor, and she sent the chief of police to pick you up at the trail, take you to the hotel. So they like the hikers there. But talking to the people at the Green Hippies, they may actually end up putting a hostel there in Heflin, and that would be the place to stay if they did. That'd be pretty cool. Getting confused here. So I think, yeah, then a couple more days in the woods, tent. We stayed one night at a shelter on the trail. And then we came to Cave Springs and stayed at the Hearn Inn. And that was where the first big road walk was, so we slack packed that. Kind of did it backwards. Had them drop us off 20 miles down trail and walk back to the Hearn Inn, stayed there again. And then the next night, or the next day, we walked to Piedmont. And there's a guy, Sparky, there. He's a shuttle driver. He picked us up and took us from the end of the trail, from the trailhead into Piedmont. We stayed there. And then we got back the next morning. Then there's a couple more nights out in the woods. And then you come to Dalton, which is another long road walk. So the first night we got into Dalton, we stayed at the Days Inn. It's all right. So like all the hotels are like right where you come into town. So then you got to find something to stay at the other end of town, unless you really walk a lot and get back onto the trail in the woods and tent. But we didn't do that. We just walked through town and went to the Toad Shade Hill cabins, which is probably my favorite ones on the trail. It's a nice place. And then after that, it was a couple cold nights out in the woods. And then on the third day, sorry about the sun there. Third day, we finished the trail. And then everyone had a different way of getting off the trail. The one guy, he had the Pinhoti Outdoor Center pick him up and take him back. Me and the other guy, we had friends picking us up. So that worked out. Actually, to get out of the woods, we took a shuttle. Voodoo picked us up and drove us to Civilization, where we met our friends. So altogether, it was 23 days. I took 1 0 day, which I probably didn't need to, but I did. So it was a fun time. I really enjoyed it. I think coming up here, I'll do a video on the gear I used and what I thought of it. Some things I lugged for no reason the whole time, some I didn't, some I used. I'll let you know how all that do. That'd be probably a couple days I'll do that. But until then, have a good time. Talk to you later.